Part 1, The Message That Changed Everything. When the stars went silent. Captain Marcus Chen stood on the observation deck of humanity's first deep space station, watching the stars like he did every night. The station floated silently between Mars and Jupiter, a tiny metal bubble in the vast darkness. Marcus had spent 12 years in space, but the view never got old. Tonight, however, something felt different. The communication console behind him suddenly erupted with alerts. Every screen in the station lit up at once. Marcus spun around, his heart racing. His communications officer, Lieutenant Sarah Okonkwo, was already at her station, her dark eyes wide with shock. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," Sarah said, her voice trembling. "It's coming from everywhere. Every satellite, every relay station, every communication device on Earth and in orbit." Marcus moved to her side. "What kind of transmission?" Before she could answer, the main view screen flickered to life. The image that appeared made Marcus's blood run cold. A creature stood before them, tall and skeletal, with skin that seemed to shift between silver and black. Its head was elongated, with 6 eyes arranged in 2 vertical rows. When it opened its mouth to speak, Marcus could see rows of crystalline teeth. "I am Overlord Thane of the Krillian Empire," the creature said. Its voice was translated into perfect English, but there was something mechanical and emotionless about it. "We speak for the Coalition of Advanced Civilizations. For 5 years, we have watched your species. We have studied your history, your wars, your weapons, and your nature." Marcus felt Sarah grab his arm. Around them, the rest of the crew had gathered, all staring at the screen in stunned silence. "Humanity has been evaluated," Thane continued. "You are a danger to yourselves and to all peaceful species in the galaxy. Your constant warfare, your nuclear weapons, your inability to unite even your own planet. These are the marks of a failed species." The Overlord's 6 eyes seemed to look directly at Marcus. "The Coalition has decided. Earth will be placed under our protection. You will surrender all weapons. You will dismantle your militaries. You will accept our guidance and control. In time, we will reshape your species into something better, something peaceful." Marcus felt his stomach drop. Reshape? What did that mean? "You have 48 hours to respond," Thane said. "Refuse, and your planet will be cleansed. Accept, and your species will survive in a new form. Choose wisely." The screen went dark. For a long moment, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then Sarah whispered, "Captain, what do we do?" Marcus looked out the window at Earth, that blue and green marble floating in the darkness. His wife was down there. His 2 daughters. Billions of people who had no idea their entire future had just been decided by creatures they'd never even known existed. "We get everyone to the command center," Marcus said quietly. "And we wait for orders from Earth." The underground meeting. Deep beneath the mountains of Colorado, in a facility that most people didn't know existed, the leaders of Earth's military and governments gathered. The room was massive, with screens covering every wall. Maps, satellite feeds, and military data scrolled across them in endless streams. General Rebecca Torres stood at the center of it all. She was 58 years old, with iron-gray hair cut short and scars on her hands from a lifetime of service. She had fought in 3 wars and commanded military operations on 4 continents. Nothing in her career had prepared her for this. "The alien fleet is positioning itself near the moon," her chief analyst reported. "We count 2,000 ships. The smallest is larger than our biggest aircraft carrier. The largest is the size of a city." President James Blackwood leaned forward. "Can we negotiate? Maybe they'll listen to reason." "We tried," Torres replied. "They refuse all communication except to repeat their demands. Surrender or die." The Chinese premier spoke up. "What about our weapons? Our missiles, our defenses?" Torres shook her head. Our best estimates say we could maybe destroy 10, maybe 20 of their ships before they wipe us out. They have technology we can't match. Energy shields, faster-than-light travel, weapons that can burn through our atmosphere from orbit. The room fell into grim silence. Then a voice spoke from the back. What if we had something they don't expect? Everyone turned. Dr. Adrian Foster stepped forward. He was young for a chief scientist, only 35, with messy brown hair and eyes that rarely stopped moving. He'd been working on classified projects for 7 years. Go on, Torres said. Adrian pulled up a holographic display. 3 years ago, we detected unusual energy readings from an asteroid that passed near Earth. We investigated and found something incredible. It was a derelict alien ship, thousands of years old. Inside, we found technology and a database of information. He zoomed in on a series of diagrams. We've been reverse engineering their systems in secret. Weapons, shields, propulsion drives. We're not ready to match the coalition ship for ship, but we have something they won't expect. We have their own technology turned against them. President Blackwood stood up. Why wasn't I informed of this? Because it was dangerous, Torres answered. If the project failed, you needed to be able to deny knowledge. If it succeeded, we needed the element of surprise. She turned to Adrian. How ready are we? We have 12 ships equipped with alien weapons systems, Adrian said. They're small, fast, and they can hurt the coalition fleet. We also have something else. The database from that derelict ship contained information about the coalition. Their species, their histories, their weaknesses. He pulled up an image of Overlord Thane. The Krillians, for example. Their species relies on a hive-mind connection for coordination. Disrupt that connection, and their fleet falls into chaos. We've built a device that can do exactly that. Torres looked at the faces around the room. Fear, anger, and something else. Hope. Dangerous, desperate hope. If we fight, millions will die, the Russian defense minister said. Maybe billions. If we surrender, we won't be human anymore, Torres replied. They said they'll reshape us. That means changing our minds, our bodies, maybe our souls. We'll exist, but we won't be us. She took a deep breath. I say we fight. Not because we can win, but because some things are worth dying for. Freedom is one of them. The vote took an hour. When it was done, the decision was made. Earth would not surrender. Humanity would stand and fight, even if it meant the end of everything. General Torres picked up the secure phone. Captain Chen, this is command. Prepare your station for combat operations. The war begins in 12 hours. In orbit, Marcus Chen received the message. He looked at his crew, at their scared but determined faces, and he nodded. You heard the general. Battle stations, everyone. Let's show these aliens what humans are made of. The countdown to war had begun. First blood. The calm before the storm. The alien fleet hung in space like a swarm of metal insects, their ships gleaming in the reflected light of the sun. From his command chair aboard the coalition flagship Eternal Dominion, Overlord Thane watched the small blue planet with cold calculation. 48 hours had passed. The humans had not responded. They are stalling, his second-in-command, Commander Vex, hissed. Vex was a Krillian like Thane, but younger and more aggressive. We should begin the cleansing now. Patience, Thane replied. Fear works better when they have time to imagine what's coming. Besides, what can they possibly do? They have no weapons that can threaten us. On his tactical display, Thane could see Earth's primitive satellites and space stations. Small things, fragile and weak. The humans had barely mastered their own solar system. The idea that they could resist the coalition was laughable. Overlord, we're detecting movement, the sensor officer reported. Multiple ships launching from Earth's surface and from their orbital facilities. Thane leaned forward with interest. How many? 12 ships, sir. Small craft, fighter-sized. They're moving into attack formation. Vex laughed, a sound like grinding metal. 12 ships against 2,000. They are either brave or stupid. Probably both, Thane agreed. All ships, weapons ready. Let's show these humans the cost of defiance. Destroy the attacking craft, then begin bombardment of their military facilities. Make it quick. David and Goliath. Lieutenant Commander Jackson Wells gripped the controls of his fighter as it screamed through space toward the alien fleet. His ship was called the Valkyrie, one of 12 experimental craft built with stolen alien technology. The cockpit was cramped and filled with displays showing enemy positions, targeting data, and probability of survival. That last number was not encouraging. All Valkyrie units, this is Valkyrie 1, Jackson said into his comm, remember the plan. Hit them hard, hit them fast, and don't give them time to adapt. Our job is to create chaos. 11 voices answered him with confirmation. These were the best pilots Earth had, volunteers who knew they probably wouldn't survive the next hour. Jackson's co-pilot, Maria Santos, was running final checks on their weapon systems. Plasma cannons charged, Maria reported. EMP missiles armed. Disruption device is ready on your command. Good, Jackson said. He could see the alien fleet now, growing larger in his view screen. 2,000 ships. It looked like a wall of metal and death. All units, activate stealth systems. Let's get close before they know what hit them. The 12 fighters vanished from conventional sensors, using technology humans barely understood. They slipped between the alien ships like ghosts, moving deeper into the fleet formation. Jackson's heart pounded. Any second now, they would be detected. Any second, this would all go wrong. Valkyrie 1, target acquired, one of his pilots reported. I've got a lock on their command ship. Hold position, Jackson ordered. Wait for my signal. We all fire at once, or this won't work. Aboard the Eternal Dominion, Overlord Thane was growing impatient. Where are those human ships? They've disappeared from our sensors. Unknown, sir, the sensor officer admitted. Our scans show nothing. They must have retreated. Cowards, Vex sneered. They realized their mistake and ran. Thane wasn't so sure. Something felt wrong. The humans had launched those ships for a reason. Where had they gone? Then his entire ship shook violently. Alarms screamed. The lights flickered. On every screen, damage reports flooded in. What's happening? Thane roared. We're under attack, the tactical officer shouted. Multiple impacts. Weapons fire from inside our formation. Impossible. Our sensors detected nothing. Another explosion rocked the ship. Thane grabbed his command chair to stay upright. On the view screen, he saw something that made his blood run cold. The human ships were there, right in the middle of his fleet, and they were tearing through coalition vessels like knives through paper. All ships, return fire. Thane commanded. Destroy those fighters. But the human ships were fast, impossibly fast. They dodged and weaved between coalition vessels, using the larger ships as cover. Every few seconds, another coalition ship exploded or went dark, its systems destroyed. Jackson pulled his fighter into a tight spiral, avoiding a stream of energy weapons fire. Maria, hit them with the EMP. Maria launched 3 missiles. They streaked toward a cluster of alien ships and detonated in bursts of blue-white light. The electromagnetic pulse fried the ship's systems, leaving them dead and drifting in space. Valkyrie 3 is hit, a voice screamed over the comm, I'm losing control. Jackson watched as one of his pilot's ships exploded in a ball of fire. Then another. The aliens were adapting, coordinating their fire. All units, execute Phase 2. Jackson ordered. Maria, activate the disruption device. Maria pressed a sequence of buttons. Deep in their ship's cargo bay, a device built from ancient alien technology powered up. It began broadcasting a signal, a specific frequency designed to interfere with Krillian neural connections. The effect was immediate and devastating. Across the alien fleet, Krillian commanders suddenly lost connection with their hive mind. Ships stopped coordinating. Some fired on their own allies. Others simply drifted, their crews confused and disoriented. What's happening? Commander Vex clutched his head, feeling the hive mind connection flicker and fail. I can't feel the others. I can't. It's the humans. Thane realized. They're jamming our neural network. All ships switched to independent command protocols. But it was too late. The coalition fleet had fallen into chaos. Ships collided with each other. Weapons fire went wild. In the confusion, the remaining human fighters pressed their attack, destroying ship after ship. Jackson knew they couldn't keep this up much longer. Half his squadron was gone. His own ship was damaged, warning lights flashing across his console. But they had done what they came to do. They had shown the aliens that humans could fight back. All units, fall back to rally point, he ordered. We've bought Earth some time. Let's use it. The surviving fighters broke away from the alien fleet and disappeared into the darkness of space. Behind them, the coalition fleet struggled to restore order, dozens of ships burning or destroyed. On Earth, in the Colorado Command Center, General Torres watched the battle data with grim satisfaction. 12 fighters against 2,000 ships, and the humans had survived long enough to hurt the enemy. It wasn't a victory, but it was a message. The war had truly begun, and humanity had drawn first blood. Overlord Thane stared at the damage reports in disbelief. 147 ships lost. Hundreds more damaged. All from 12 primitive fighters. Recall all forces, he said quietly. Pull back to a defensive formation. And send a message to the Coalition High Command. Tell them we underestimated the humans. Tell them we need reinforcements. Vex looked at him in shock. You're asking for help against one planet. Thane's 6 eyes fixed on the blue world in the distance. This planet just proved they're more dangerous than we thought. If we're going to win this war, we need to stop underestimating them. Because if we don't, they might just find a way to beat us. The coalition fleet regrouped, licking its wounds. On Earth, humanity prepared for the next battle. The war was just beginning, and nobody knew how it would end.